Good morning, children. Welcome to the first video of computers. Today, we are going to begin with lesson number 1. Let us revise. This is the revision of all the lessons which we have studied in detail last year. So let us begin. The first lesson which we had studied last year was a number system. Now, what is a number system? It is a system for representing numeric values or quantities using different symbols or digits. Now we know that computer is a machine, and to communicate with computers, a number system is being developed. Otherwise, we cannot communicate with it because it's a machine and we are humans. So now we had studied in detail about number system, that it had how many different parts? 4, or you can say 4 types of number system. The first one is decimal, the second one is binary, the third one is octal, and the fourth one is hexadecimal number system. Now, in decimals, what we had studied? In decimal number systems, we have the digits from 0 to 9. If we count all the digits from 0 to 9, there are 10 digits. So the base for decimal number system is number 10, as it consists of 10 digits. And that base can also be called as radix. Now, in the decimal number system, here we have a number example 256. 6 is at the units place. As our base is 10, so the power will be 0. We will start from right to left. If you remember, I had told you 0 will be the units place, 1 will be the tens place, and 2 will be the hundreds place. So for the number 256, 6 will have the base as 10, raised the power with 0, the number 5 with the base 10 and the power 1. And the number 2 will have the base 10 to the power 2. This is regarding the decimal number system. And this helps us to convert it to binary. And we had also learned binary converting to decimal. Now we will learn about binary number system. Binary number system is also called as a positional numbering system. Now, as computer is a machine, it has got only 2 digits, that is 0 and 1. So that is on state and off state. So here I have taken one example as 1001101. This is a binary number. Now binary number is always forms of only zeros and ones. As it has got only 2 digits, so always the base of a number is 2, and we will have increasing order power, that is from right to the left. So this is an example of a binary number system. The third number system which we had studied was the octal number system. Now with the word octal, you must have understood it will be having 8 as the base. So the digits will start from 0 and it will be ending at 7, and if you count all these digits, it will be 8. So the octal number system has the base 8. Now the next number system, that is hexadecimal number system. The word hexadecimal number system, it's a combination of 2 words, that is hexa and decimal. Hexa means 6 and decimal means 10 digits. So 10 plus 6, that is 16. So hexadecimal number system will have 16 as the base number. So digits will be from 0 to 9, and the numbers from 10 to 15 will be represented in the alphabetical order as A as 10, B as 11, C as 12, D as 13, E as 14, and F as 15. So we will have the base as 16 and the different powers to it. For example, the number says A65.C2. As it is after the decimal point, it will have the power as negative, and these numbers will have the power as positive because these numbers are before the decimal number and these numbers are after the decimal point. Now, the next thing which we have studied after hexadecimal was Windows Explorer. Now, this screen will be different for different people depending on the operating system you're having. Right now, I have taken is the screenshot of Windows 10. So if you're using Windows 95, NT 2000 and any other, then this particular thing will be slightly different. So what is Windows Explorer? It is used to navigate and manage the drives, the folders, and the files present on your system. So it tells you in which folder what you have saved. It's an in brief reading of the different files and folders present in your system, or you can say present in your desktop or your laptop, and so on. The next chapter we had studied was about the control panel. Control panel is a software, or you can say it's a panel which is going to control all the hardware and software things present in your system. Now here you can see the different options present in control panel. It says fonts, mouse, sound, programs and features. So all whatever you're going to install in your system, all these things will be visible in the control panel and you can change the settings of those softwares. So control panel is basically a main important thing in computers, which is going to control the whole system. The next chapter which we had studied was formulas in Excel. Now what is for formula? A formula is an expression which calculates the value of a cell. Functions are predefined formulas and are already available in Excel. Now Excel, you know, it is a combination of rows and columns. For example, I have taken one example here. In the cell A1, I have the number 2. In the cell A2, I have number 3. And then in the cell A3, I have taken addition of both these numbers. And I've written the formula in the cell reference box, that is equal to A1 plus A2. So this will generate the output in the cell A3. So this is regarding formula in Excel. This is a normal formula. So the first normal formulas are called as basic formulas in Excel. Now over here, these are the formulas which we have studied last year in detail. Now here I have taken the screenshot of Windows 10. Now if you're using a different version of Excel, this will be different. If you're using 10, if you're using 2007 or 2003, then the menu part will be different. Now in 7 onwards, we have different tabs. And in 2003, we have different menus with these options. But these formulas are inbuilt in Excel, whether it is 2003, whether it's 7 or 10. But these are inbuilt formulas in Excel. So you can ready-madely use it. Like sum is going to calculate the sum of numbers which you are going to enter in this. Maximum will calculate the maximum number present in that range. Minimum is going to calculate the minimum number present in that particular range. Now, what is the date time? That will calculate in the formula. Now, average is going to give you the average value of the numbers present in that range. Count is going to count the values present in those range of values. Count A is going to calculate the number of cells. Length is going to measure, or you can say count the length of your word. Next is ABS, absolute value of a number. Random is going to generate a random number. Random between is going to generate a random number present in that range. Uppercase means it is going to make your text capital. Lowercase means it is going to make your letters in small case. And proper means it is going to make the text in a sentence case. So this was regarding the basic formulas in Excel, which we have studied last year. Now the next thing which we have in Excel is compound formula. So compound formula is more than one mathematical operations come into picture. Then we call it as compound interest. Now we have studied in maths about compound interest. Here you only need to mention the numerical data for it. And when you want to get an output, just write this compound interest formula with the different cell numbers specified. With this, you will get a proper output. So this helps you to generate a compound interest result. So these compound interest formulas are not inbuilt, but you are supposed to write it to generate a particular output. Next we had studied was functions in Excel. Microsoft Excel's table structure is a great way to keep the data organized. The program is much more than just a series of rows and columns. In Excel, you must have only seen numbers, figures, charts, and all. But it's not just that. It is based on certain calculations. It has got specific output to tell you what it is. Now, every time we can't remember a number. So we display using different figures and functions. So to display that, we need to learn formulas. We also need to learn the different functions. So the different functions which are present in Excel are to calculate sum, find the average number of series of a number, to generate the current date and time, how many orders are being placed by a customer. So that list you can preserve in Excel. You can even have the email address list of the customers. So these all things are very easy in Excel, and it helps us to generate a quick list in a sorted order. The next thing which we had learned in Excel was the different charts. Now, a chart is a powerful tool that allows you to visually display data in a variety of different chart formats, such as, now chart format means these are the different types of charts like bar chart, column chart, pie chart, which is a circular line chart like this, area will be like, you must have seen a map. So in that we have different states. So that becomes an area chart. Donut. Now you have seen the structure of a donut. So even the chart looks like that. Scatter will be having different points noted on it. Surface, like what is the surface of that particular item. Or radar charts. So these are the different types of chart present in Excel. You should have the numerical data to design any of these charts. Numerical data is more than enough to display a chart, and you can always edit the chart. If you are not don't like the column chart, you can always assign any other chart, but you should have the numerical data present to display a chart. Next important thing we had learned, and you people were very much interested, was Flash. Now, what is a Flash? Now, again over here, I have taken Flash CS3 Professional. It will be different at your end and it will be different at my end. It depends on the version which we are studying. So here I have tried to label the things which you had studied last year. What are the different layers? What are the frames which are going to be helpful in designing a game? The timeline panel tells us how much is the video about, what animations you have put. Suppose you have taken an object, then you must have used different tools in it to draw it. The workspace is called a stage, and the different panels to monitor the different colors. And the property inspector, what restrictions, what sound, what effects you have given comes under property inspector. Now, why I'm so much telling about Flash? Because you know, Flash allows us to create desktop applications, mobile applications, and various games based on animations and videos also. So Flash is very, very important in terms of gaming business, in terms of mobile application, and it is very helpful in designing also. So this is regarding Flash. After that, we had studied was QBasic. QBasic means quick beginners all-purpose symbolic instruction code. It was developed by Microsoft in the year 91 and it is also labeled or replaced as GW Basic. The first version was 4.5 compiler it had used, and it never produces any exe files, or you can call as a setup files. It generates file with the extension .das, which can only be executed immediately by the built-in QBasic interpreter. That is, this window will help you to type, compile the program, and then run the program to get a proper output. And it is based on DOS. What do you mean by DOS? Disk Operating System. Again, I'll repeat. The first operating system which was developed by Microsoft was DOS. It is called as Disk Operating System, but it is not executable on Windows. So depending upon the compatibility of Windows, you have to use its different version. What do you mean that it is an open source software freely available on the net? You don't have to pay for this. So it is an open source software. The next which we had studied was, what is a blog? Blog can also be called as weblog. It is a word used to describe different types of websites and portals which share information on specific topics or wider categories. Now, what are the different categories in it? That it can be a blog post, it can be related to the videos on which people like upload and different people comment on it. There will be even different links provided on the blog to get a wider knowledge about it. There will be different websites or widgets, etc., which are present in a blog. Blog is like a bulb to glow. If you have an interest in particular thing, you need to use a blog for it, and you need to study in detail, and you can even comment. You can even have people of the same interest commenting on it, arguing on it, and so on. After that, we had studied about microblogging. So what is microblogging? It's a form of blogging that allows users to write brief text updates and publish them publicly through social media sites or privately through instant messaging, text messages, or emails. When you say privately, it will be an MMS, social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and these other things. But these are social media websites. But microblogging sites will be people having interest in that same particular thing. So that is related to microblogging. Now, the last topic which we had studied last year is communication services. Now, you people are using nowadays a lot like Skype, WhatsApp, and many more. Here you can see the different icons which I have provided. So these are the communication services right now available for all of us to be in touch with each other. So we'll stop here today. I want all of you to revise this video and keep yourself updated. Thank you for watching.